It's 1178Q on a public notice. Notice to agent. It's notice to principal. This is a public notice to all clans, to all clans, military, and continuity of government team. So a lot of us has been watching, and hold on, let me see how I want to do this. Okay, let's get into the public notice first. This public notice is to make the tribe's membership, the general body, aware that the U.S. corporation is no more. The Vatican control of the earth is no more. The Buckingham Palace and its related so-called royal families are all gone. The matriarch is on the return and on the rise. And in here, for all of the clans collective across the land, I'm going to give y'all some information that y'all can use to accelerate this process and to be involved at some level or another. So we need the three kings walking. That's Angel Bay, Larry Hoover, Big Tookie, to come forth and bring the communication to the people so that the people can know that the tribes have this under wraps and that we are in control of our faculties. Our ability to run government is intact. Our process of raising the matriarchy is in full swing. The only remaining thing is to create a database of matriarchs across the land, which is our clan mothers that have been already doing the work. And a good example for you to know what I'm talking about when I say doing the work, Chief Warhorse is a perfect example of a clan mother that's been doing the work. She got the paperwork to prove it. She's been dealing with the political side of the legal fiction, and she's now about to be, her skill set is about to be needed with the matriarchs as far as how she's been working with the government and how they've been systematically usurping the people, and they have gave us no recourse. Another good example is Hydia Barble of the Goddess Glow Up, an excellent example of a clan mother. She does her Goddess Glow Up, which is a healing circle for sisters to heal without distinction for race, political affiliation, or social standing in the community. Healed women heal women, and the work that she's been doing will be able to be expanded upon and supported by the matriarchy so that her effectiveness is increased and the positive impact to the sisterhood is also increased, and it also serves as a way to help mothers to not get trapped in caregiver syndrome, where they're so busy taking care of their family that they end up neglecting their own health and causes us to lose many mothers earlier than we need to lose them. They're getting caught in caregiver syndrome because they're single-handedly handling what we used to do with the sisterhood. Sisters born in the same family used to raise all of their children together, even though they lived separate lives, and then they would use each other's resources to take all of the burden and allow for the women to have constructed breaks from being the only caregiver in the home, to allow the father's time with the children as the primary caregiver while the mother would go to her retreat at the Goddess Glow Up and be able to receive the self-care, the recovery time, and the ability to be with like-minded sisters just focused on healing so that that energy can be spread throughout the whole of the planet. Another good example is Professor Bayeno Bayello, who is a Haitian historian who passionately speaks about the Haitian Revolution and the actors in the Haitian Revolution that allowed us to find the bloodlines required to close out the Haitian Revolutionary Conjure that was an assistant conjure to the Gullah Wars. And if you look at the conclusion of the Haitian Revolution and the migration patterns from the island, you'll see that they migrated to two places. The priestesses went to New Orleans to reinforce the conjure with the root working women of the ENO. The men, they in turn went to fight in the Gullah Wars in Florida. So you find a large influx of Haitian immigrants during the Gullah Wars migrating to Florida at the conclusion of the Haitian Revolution, while Dessalines was reorganizing the clans. The war conjure was still open, so the warriors, being at thirst for blood, had to find the nearest battlefield that they can support and vent that energy, right? So all of these things are walked back, reverse engineered, took everything that they threw at us, and we turned it around and exposed it to the public. From their blood conjure rights at the blood of Crispus Attucks, writing the secondary constitution that was held in the George Washington Memorial, to the Feathers versus the Fezzes in the George Washington Challenge, the Fezzes of the Shriners who was involved, is all kept in the Fez display in the George Washington Memorial Museum. Those things are critical to the verification of what happened on the land. The Liberty Bell, the crack, being the signature of Enlil as the god of the sky, god of thunder, and his assertion of jurisdictional supremacy on the land while none of the high chiefs was present. The next thing that we went over was how all of the clans was called from all parts of the world, from the Samoan Islands, the Tongan Islands, the Hawaiian Islands. We were called from New Zealand, from Australia, from South America, from Central America, from Alaska, from Canada, all across America. We was all called to come give aid and assistance to fight the Gullah Wars in opposition of the Spanish Armada. Everything that we've done to date has been to undo what was done and what was done to us. Now we're at the part where the government is present and the matriarchy is moving in the position to be of service and to serve the people of the land without distinction of race, creed, color, or philosophical background. All of the destructive doctrines of religion, you can keep your doctrine, but send your tribal mother to tie into the collective of tribal mothers. They are currently forming a database. This database is to serve as the structural building instrument to tie the matriarchs or clan mothers across the land so that they're all on the same page. They can be well informed one to another. And it's the restoration of what we used to call our old book of life, where all of the matriarchs was in there. And if you was under her clan, that's how you got to be in the book of life. Or it's the book of eternal life, because it's through this book in the life that you live do we know when you're coming back, if you're coming back to the same bloodline, or if the crisis of the era may be significant to be born across clans in order to complete the restoration. At this point, we at the opening of a new age, and we have closed out all old things, and now all things must be made new in an old way. That new old way is the return of the originals, as Empress Verdiasi Tierra Gostinel Bay once said, it's the return of the ancient ones. All of this is important to the clans to know, because it's with their efforts and their support to the return of us, the original organic people of the earth, and specifically the Americas, to return what was rightfully ours by birthright and by blood right, and by our works and our deeds that shows that we're worthy and capable enough to maintain our own affairs, whether it be politically, socially, economically, educationally, whether it's in entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, or health. We are functional, we are operational, and all of the clans must be aware that in order for this to work, we have to all find a common ground to come to unity, and that common ground to date is called the Great Law. If we all return to the Great Law, we all return to the same page, and we all can be participants in this redemption process and restoring the original inhabitants of Turtle Island to their original position as sovereigns over the land that they are born from. We are one with the earth. The part of the earth that the clans of the Americas of Turtle Island are the ones who are responsible for the regaining of political control and the reallocation of resources across the land to the collective clans so that they can live their best life and to revamp their educational programs with tribal ROPE programs, which is rites of passage education, which is different from your see-look method of teaching and learning. That's an indoctrination process. We don't want our children indoctrinated. We don't want them trained to be your laborers and your burden bearers. We want each one of our children to choose their own life path. And we as the parents and the adults in the society will from this point forward give them the tools required for them to construct a future according to their character and personality and their current mindset as they naturally are, not how we want them to be. We're going to be returning the caregiving of the children back to the big mamas, where the big mamas come together, have a big ass house, and when the women and the men got to go do labor functions for the clan that they part of, there would be a group of women there with the mothers to oversee the children. The men will be instructed on how to form rites of passage for the boys in leadership classes. We need Big Meech. We need Big Meech because Big Meech is the prince trainer. He is the one responsible for teaching the boys how to live with opulent wealth without being consumed by selfishness and greed. He's experienced in teaching them. He was doing it before they arrested him, and he's going to go back to training them if he chooses to once he's liberated. That skill set cannot be taught by anybody. You have to be endowed with that skill set from Prime Creator and Source. So we would like for Big Meech to be willing to come and to educate the boys on how to live with this opulent wealth they're about to receive, where it doesn't go to their head, it doesn't cause families to fall apart, it don't cause for people to have to selfishly grab their little piece of the pie and run off in the corner. It's enough for all of us to eat. So we need to say free Big Meech under the banner of Free Larry Hoover, the same as is Free Angel Bay. Under the banner of Free Larry Hoover, the same as is Free Malachi York. Under the banner of Free Larry Hoover, the same as is Free Imam Abu Jamal Al-Amin, which is the same as Free Larry Hoover. When we say Free Larry Hoover, we mean free all political prisoners. We mean restore the tribes back to their original status before the settlers came in 1492, the pre-Columbian era, which brings us to a post-Columbus era where we are no longer bound by their treaties and contracts and their artificial paperwork used to usurp our jurisdictional supremacy as the caregivers of the land. We will no longer acknowledge any of their corporate fictions, and it is now the responsibility of the continuity of government program to bring to the awareness of the collective the actual events so that the collective is aware of the transition of power that's taking place in real time without the confusion of the media that's been controlled by CIA and other nefarious forces involved in media control. No longer will we be subject to those false and misleading news reports. We are now about to see new reporters that's going to be coming out to report the truth, and all of those who were agents of the legal fiction will be removed from television so that the real truth can be delivered to the people in a digestible format based on their ability to comprehend it. The scripts have been all exposed. We know who the frauds are. We know who the actual actors are. So now it's time for us to return back to tribal ways and to restore the land, air, and the water back to its pristine state, because none of the water was poisoned before they came. You could drink anywhere water was. None of the land was poisoned. Wherever you dropped the seed, it was going to grow there. None of the air was poisoned because we wasn't flying across the sky spraying chemtrails to toxify the air in order to stranglehold the original inhabitants and try to slowly kill them by the attrition method. All that's done. We are done with that. So now we are about to see continuity government activate certain people that's going to be bringing more information to the forefront than we have been being exposed to in the recent past, in order for us to go on and burrow through this thing, or should I say burst through this thing, and arrive in 2025 prepared for the celebration. We are low on time in order to have a strong and functional infrastructure for the plans that we have for the future and for this great celebration of 2025, return of the matriarchy and the final independence of the people who was held in reprisal for a debt we didn't owe. So that's the public service announcement. So what I'm going to do, if y'all have questions relating to the public service announcement, I'm going to end the video now, and then I'm going to restart, and I'm going to take questions one at a time and try to get about an hour of questions in. So I'm going to end this here, and then I'm going to go to the questions. So that has been a public service announcement to all of the clans, to the military and the continuity of government team, to bring to the awareness of the people the transition of power that has been taking place and the fate of those usurpers and interlopers that tried to replace the organic people of the land. It's a wrap, people. In the immortal words of Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, dealing